Hey, welcome back. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I am your host, Daris D. McKinney. Please like, follow, subscribe, click those buttons. We need viewership. We need to get pushed in the algorithm, y'all. Come on. I know I'm just saying it a lot and everything like that. Look, give me some love, y'all. You know, I got to do so much to try to beat Google. Google's a lot, you know what I mean? It's a big, powerful company. So it's like when I'm not getting pushed in the algorithm, I got to leave it to you guys. You guys come across the video, please do not just pass it up. Maybe I'm not like your favorite YouTuber. Maybe I don't got the big money like who you like and everything like that. But please, if you can, please hit that like, subscribe, follow. Trust me, I'm doing the work, okay? I'm making sure that I'm giving you guys good content and valuable content that's got nothing to do with me grandizing myself. It's literally about us fighting the system, fighting the psychological manipulation of how they want the average human being, the individual human being to be in society. That's why Individual Perspective Podcast, I've been fighting for this for 20 years. Literally, you can find pieces of Individual Perspective Podcast essence all through the internet, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, everywhere. I've been fighting to make sure that we know that it's nothing more important than ourselves. Your mindset is what you need to fight for. Because that's how you give advice. That's how you look back on your life and make sure that you were a person of substance. It's to not allow another person's persona, their perspective, their ideological point of view to be what made you, what's your makeup. That's why Individual Perspective makes you have to vet everyone, your mama, your daddy, your siblings, your community, your culture, society, favorite politician, favorite musician, favorite movie stars. No matter what it is, you vet them because no matter how much their status might be, they still might be full of, I'm not going to cuss so early in the actual broadcast. So that's what I'm doing. And that's why I titled it Cesspool Island of Dubious Sanctimonious Personalities. That's what YouTube is. That's what it like Instagram, Facebook. It's a bunch of like Twitter, X, it's just but social media is just a cesspool island of dubious, sanctimonious personalities. And what does that mean? That means that it's people with their own vindictive alternative motives. They know that even if they tell you certain things to better yourself, the likelihood that you're gonna use that rhetoric that they had told you to better yourself is very low. Why? Because they didn't tell you, hey, we make a huge success. Our lives is so much better because how dumb you are clicking on our thumbnail, clicking and listening to our podcast, listening to our stuff. I'm not saying that you guys are dumb listening to my podcast or anybody that actually gives you guys an honest conversation. It's the people that you guys are becoming their memberships and you're kind of going into the rabbit hole of them in order to give yourself value. My podcast is for me to have a conversation with you guys about our society. What's going on? What's the conversation? What's the interaction between us? And I'm not here to tell you like I'm the greatest and you want to be like me, you want to roll like me, you want to no, be like you. Most human beings have never, ever, and will never, ever be them. Your failures are not actually your failures. They could be your mama's failures. They could be your daddy's failures. They could be the society, your culture, your race, the persona of society placed upon you, their evaluation and how you should move. You are in the, and it's just, it's, I say this because it's very important that you guys understand where I'm coming from when I say stop it. You guys got to take an inventory of who and why are you listening to specific podcasters and influencers and all that stuff. Why are you listening to them? It is if the reason that you listen to podcasters and social influencers is to give yourself value and meaning, you shouldn't listen to them. Everything that you need to know, you kind of learn it with the 5th to 9th grade education. You kind of, who you could be and what kind of life you could have. You kind of learned it within like a 5th to 9th grade education, comprehension, evaluation, hypothesizing, decision making, consequences of decision making. You kind of learn it within like grade to high school. You get what I'm saying, the range of it all. And by the time you get into like your teenage, like your college years and your young adult years, you're almost just like testing stuff out. You're not learning anything. You're just testing your hypothesis of, is the stove hot? You know what I mean? Is focusing valuable? Is discipline valuable? But you learn discipline, you learn focusing, you learn the value of yourself and disrespecting yourself, or how your insecurity of yourself. You kind of learn that within like 5 to, like, I'll say 5 to 13 years old, but let's say grade school years, your fifth grade up to about high school, like pretty much middle, like grade school going into high school, or even just high school. You kind of learn it. So let's say we'll say 10 to 17 years old. You kind of learn everything you really need to know about life within that range. Okay, everything else is a con. It's just manipulation. It's psychological warfare to manipulate your psychosis, to make you a subject. You get what I'm saying? Everything, business, podcasts, like YouTube, social influencers, the media, teachers, politicians, all of them are here to really make you confused. That confusion, and trying to understand that confusion and understand what's the message of your own comprehension of the confusion is to manipulate you to be a subject. And by the time you fight with yourself and fight with your comprehension and fight what you are perceiving, what the message is and how to apply it to your life and all that stuff, by the time you go back and forth with yourself, you live the whole life, and you have lived the whole life of being a subject. That's what most of us lived our whole life. And if you're lucky, you'll find that out somewhere while you're breathing and you're somewhat coherent and you're physically able and everything like that. And maybe you can see how it is to feel a couple years of being a true free human being, of your own thoughts and of your own motivations, of your own self understanding. So I say this because I woke up this morning. I got a click on my thing. I didn't pay attention to none of that stuff, but when I'm washing dishes, or like, in between when I go back into my studio to kind of do, because I'm a filmmaker and I got movies I'm pretty much tightening up, editing sound, doing different things too. So before I kind of go through, sometimes I wash the dishes, sometimes I like set up my podcasts or something, so collect the little clips or something like that, or put some notes into my notes to kind of just say, hey, you need to probably remember to talk about this or something like that. And then when I clicked on YouTube, I seen a video that it gave me an epiphany. And if anybody know in my life, when I be having these little spurts of epiphanies within a couple years or so, I aggressively focus and put them into motion and put them into activeness in my life. And what does that mean? I had an epiphany about how some YouTubers and social influencers, they'll act like they're like trying to better you or better society or give good talking points to society or a good mindset to people. But the truth of the matter is you're a joke to them. You're the fool. And they sit back and they enjoy it. You know, like it's like our emails in society. Like the average human being doesn't understand that globally or even just in the United States of America, your emails make the country like $100,000. And you will never put $100,000 in your hand. You'll work hard. You'll pay for your mortgage for 30, 35 years. You'll put like a good $300,000 in your 401k, even if you max it out. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about the average human being. You get what I'm saying? And by the time you done busting your ass for 20 to 30 years, you may have a 401k that in a mortgage equity value of about, together you might be able to kind of get a $700,000 cash flow. And you're working decades to get that. But when you click on these social media influencers' clicks and you listen to their videos and you listen to them have a good life and have a good personality and good reactions about certain things, you see that they're throwing away that kind of money. $700,000 that you busting your ass for 30 years to like make, and it's a joke to them. And you're a joke because you keep clicking they button. So I unsubscribed to everybody that I felt like you don't even care about the people that are that are spending their time. And most people, you know, social influencers got to stop. Don't judge people when they watch your videos because they're watching your video on their downtime. You get what I'm saying? It could be while they washing dishes, while they like fixing on a car. But podcasts are not like watching a movie. It's not like watching TV, like a TV show where you literally got to pay attention to the visuals of it in order to sync the information that has been played in the presentation. A podcast, you could be like putting in a new car engine and listen to a podcast. You could be building a house. You could be like doing design and doing all kind of stuff as you're listening to a podcast. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a podcast. What people don't understand, that a podcast is psychologically informative hearing thing. It's a podcast is audio form first, no matter what you do. So all you podcasters that's out there and you social influencers out there putting your stuff on YouTube or video, you're in a psychological manipulation too, idiot. Because what you're saying, what you're describing can be heard audio. Nobody next need to really look at you say it. You're not doing a keynote on your actual visual screen. You get what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that you're talking about, you play a clip of somebody talking and what they're saying is very verbal communicative. You get what I'm saying? That they put themselves on Instagram and they say it on a FaceTime camera, or you looking at a person's podcast and what they talking about is got visuals to it. What they're actually saying is very audio form. So 99% of every podcaster, every social influencer, every channel that's on YouTube is actually verbal communication. It's audio form. So people can be extremely productive while they're listening to your podcast. But if you guys are going on air and you're telling like your listeners and people that subscribe to your channels that they're dumb for listening to you because you make it a bag, unimaginable bag by listening to them, that's counterproductive to the whole point of the new market of social media and podcasting and social influencing, audio, like just communicating talking points and stuff. Most people like 30% of a podcaster's or social influencer channel is the visuals. 70% is what you guys are saying, and it's good. You don't ever have to look at the person to say it. You get what I'm saying? The only reason why to look at a YouTube channel visually or a Rumble channel visually or an Instagram channel visually, most of the time is for the ads that's there. Because ads are very visual. A car channel, a car ad, a Kellogg cereal, or some kind of whatever it is, cologne or whatever the situation, is a lot of visualization to the presentation. So that's more the value of watching YouTube than what the podcaster or the social influencer is saying. But for me, I said, no. I'm here for you. I really am. I'm here for the individual human being. And the things that I'm saying is not about my growth. It's about our growth. You get what I'm saying? And yes, I ask for everybody to subscribe and like and follow my channel because I do feel that the job is to take power away from people that took your eyeballs, took your listening time, took your actual informative time for granted. And one of those people are not, I don't really care about social influencers or podcasters and stuff like that. My real goal is when something is going on politically, something is going on in our intelligence agency, something is going on in our societies, politicians, and even in the the understanding of how AI is affecting us and everything like that, affecting where we're going and how we're functioning, and to understand where technology is going and how that influences us and affect us. I rather have the conversation of that. And I'm seeing that Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, some of the most powerful platforms that has $2 to $10 billion a year to put on content and do journalism and communicate information to us, they have decided that they're gonna manipulate what and how they communicate to us and what's the value of them communicating it to us, and really do we need to know the context of that. Like I said, I'm a big Fox News fan, but how they cover the Ukraine and Russia war is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. All their credibility is in that. All their credibility is in how they spent July 15th, 2016 to January 20th, 2017. How in between that's where your credibility at. So everything that they kind of doing with the Ukraine war, it was already communicated that they are not trustworthy when it comes down to the nitty gritty to how they manage July 15th, 2015 to January 20th, 2017. And it's all in there. The psychosis, the presentation, all that stuff is in there. Now, yes, I'm still watching Fox News because I can't watch anything else. It's the credibility is extremely lower than theirs to watch CNN. I can't do that. I can't watch MSNBC. I can't watch ABC. I can't watch CNN or NBC or CBS or the other platforms and stuff. I can't watch it. It's almost like me lying to myself. So the only thing I have that's got a little specks of truth and honesty in there is Fox News. So a lot of us went to social media and podcasters and social influencers on YouTube and Rumble and all that other stuff to make up for that time that we would get informed by the news, certain news media that we interact with. And then what did they do? They let their grandioseness and their egos and the financial gain that they're making from podcasting and social influencer, they let it go so far to their head that they're actually looking at the citizens and the people that actually are just want to get informed and make decisions and have a good hypothesizing and great informative perspective and truthful, honest, objective analysis on how they look at stuff and what's going on around them and everything, that they just getting data for the consumption to kind of rationalize it and see what's the truth and what's not the truth. And what they getting dogged out that they consume their time with the people on Instagram and YouTube and Rumble, that they're a joke because they not leveling up. Because if you watching me, you ain't leveling up. That's the energy and that's the communication that's coming from the social influencers and the podcasters. And it's this passive aggressive, like I said, dubious, sanctimonious personalities that's hitting us in the face every day. And if our IQ is not good enough, we don't even catch it. We don't even catch the passive aggressive communication that's been given. So I'm making this episodes to let you guys know it's there. It's in your favorite podcaster. It's in your favorite influencer. You get what I'm saying? And for them, they think that, see, I'm wrong on this. I'll take that back. I was going to say, they think that they got to be that deceiving and dubious to you in order to gain your attention on a day-to-day basis and make you guys super chat them and live chat them and be part of their memberships and their Patreons and all the other stuff. But I'm the fool because they're right. The dubiousness, the sanctimonious, what I mean by sanctimonious is having a higher authority of morality. You get what I'm saying? They make you think that they got a higher authority of morality, and the dubiousness is the subjective, suspicious. They're very sneaky, and you should be looking at them as very suspect. But you don't. And you keep hitting that Cash App. You keep hitting that Patreon. You keep hitting that membership. And they're right because people are extremely successful not really being honest and having a objective conversation with you guys. So this episode is, like how I said in the actual thumbnail, is honing your inner voice, because I think the only way to give value to your own self is you. That's what it is. You don't need another human being to make you better. You need to understand you. You know what I mean? You know what's interesting to you. You know what kind of entrepreneur endeavor that you want to tackle. But you second guess yourself and you think that you need another person of greater value or more success than you to make a decision. Do you need to go into this endeavor? You get what I'm saying? They went into something that had a highly unlikely situation that they'll achieve because of the amount of people in society that has achieved in that situation, and they still went in it. You can't understand why. Because they decided, this is what I want to do, this is what I want, this is the outcome I want, this is what the goal I want to go for, and I'm going to do it until I can't do it no more. I'm going to do it to my last breath. And that's where their mindset was. get what I'm saying? So, I say this because the truth of the matter is, when you're doing a mindset inventory of how you're thinking, you need to reassure that you're not the error. Just the way you think of you is the error. You're not the error. The way you think of you is the error. The way you think of yourself is the error. So that's why I said hone your inner voice. So I just want to play a couple clips. They're fast clips, but they allow me to kind of walk you guys through some of the things that I'm kind of talking about here. You get what I'm saying? Because we're in a dogfight right now, y'all. We're in a dogfight, and it's so sad because we need our social influencers to help us battle a society that's is dare to just pick our bones, you know. So I'm just trying to kind of make sure that everybody know that I'm not here to say like, oh, you're good enough, you're good enough. It's not about that. It's to say you already know your answers. You already know the answers to your life. You already know the decision making that you need to make in order to improve your life. So let me play this clip about the psychosis in the intellectualness of decision. Okay, and then we'll just talk about it afterwards. Okay, so give me a second. Let me push this over to you guys.
To economics, I got interested in how people make decisions, how they make choices. That's what we spend an.
I want to rewind that.
I really had committed to economics. I got interested in how people make decisions.
Yeah, I think look, this is how anal I am. Because I'm a filmmaker. I want to hear
From the very beginning, even before I really had committed to economics, I got interested in how people make decisions, how they make choices.
So forgive me for rewinding that, but I see now where the clip kind of goes into where he starts to communicate. And this is when they introduce the actual manner. Okay, so Noble Perspective, I'll put a link at the bottom for you guys to kind of, I thought this was a good clip. I'm individual perspective and they're on normal perspectives, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I just ran into this clip literally looking up decision making. I put that into the search, and I say decision making, mindset on decision making. And this is one of the videos that came up, and I liked it. So I'm sharing it with you guys so I can make a point.
From the very beginning, even before I really had committed to economics, I got interested in how people make decisions, how they make choices. That's what we spend an awful lot of our lives doing. Shall we go down this road? Shall we go down that road? Shall we buy this? Shall we buy that? I got interested in that problem as a result of a special project I did for one of my professors at Chicago, in which I was studying how a recreation department in the Milwaukee city government was making decisions, how they decided whether to hire more playground leaders or how they decided whether to plant another tree on the playground. That led me into economics, which of course is centrally concerned with decision making. So I think really the difficulty of decision making centers very much around the degrees of uncertainty that relate to the decision and to the gaps in our knowledge, the things we don't know anything about. And if you find an area that has those characteristics, it's going to be a hard decision-making area. Maybe in human behavior, as the political campaign is, or it might be a matter of physics. Decision-making with respect to the environment, with respect to global warming, is not very easy at all, for the same reason. Because we don't know how to build models that will, in any realistic way, we don't know yet how to build models in any realistic way, predict even whether there is warming or how large the warming is or what the effects are going to be. Is it going to melt the ice caps or isn't it? It's that uncertainty that makes decision making difficult.
Okay, now that's Herbert Simmons. And he's like a actual physicist and everything like that, and it's, you know, and his psychosis into like his theory on make a decision. And his point is that the reason why people don't make decisions that they should make, and this is for even me, I'm telling you, I'm talking to you about even myself, because I'm like you, I'm really trying to level up myself and take on challenges and endeavor and focus and discipline and get in a detailed, unmerciful, constant routine to go on to where I need to go to and accomplish what I need to accomplish. So in the conversation that I have is this is positive reinforcement to myself, even if I want to listen to my own podcast, because you guys are not listening to it. But at the same time, this is for people to understand a lot of this understanding is already in your head. It's already in consciousness that you already have. So he's telling you in his in the physics and psychosis and psychological mastering of the human interactions and the human behavior and his studies and everything, he's seeing that what you're going to find out is it's this, and it's just the way it is. It's just an individual perspective, and it's an objective analysis of understanding what it is. It is. And what he's saying is most decisions come down to what is your fear on what's your fear when it comes to the failure rate of something, or the disappointment of something, or let me play this for you again.
Decision making with respect to the environment, with respect to global campaign is, or it might be a matter of physics area, maybe in human behavior as the things we don't know anything about. And if you find an area that has those characters.
So yeah, so what so I wanted to make sure I used his word, uncertainty. That's what he was talking about. So most decisions are based, and they're actually heavily dependent on how you perceive the uncertainty of that decision. So in you and me, if you just think about that every decision that you make, or the decision that you didn't make, it was always based on how uncertain you felt, that you were aware of, have knowledge in, that you know of what would be the outcome of making that decision. So that's why 99% of the world's population don't make the decision that they have in their head that could have made their life better, or improved their life, or even just achieve something that they just wanted to achieve, and they just didn't fight for it, and they just didn't go for it. I don't care I don't care how small or how big it is. Most times we don't make the decisions that we should make, just out of just living and learning and understanding our existence and human behavior and where we want to go and what's cause and effect. We don't make the decision because we're so heavily into the uncertainty of making that decision. So we wait more of the uncertainty than we wait making the decision and doing the decision. Do you understand that? So we put so much money, so much stock, so much of our time, our energy, and our life into, if we made that decision, this would have happened. We put so much stock in that we don't make the decision. So in life, you will find out what's the most consistent thing of life. Is not making a decision is worse than making the decision. That's what we know from rich people and poor people alike. Not making the decision is worse than making the decision. That's what the pros and cons of every white, black, rich, poor, physicists to basketball players to a construction worker to a garbage man, whatever, to a stock shelfer, to I don't care if you're Popeye's chicken worker. What we all have what we have in common is that worst thing we could do is not make the decision. That's in our head. Make the decision. You want to have morals to the decisions you make. You don't want to be saying, hey, I want to go rob this bank. Then you don't make the decision to rob the bank. So, that's a good decision to not rob the bank, because it's another way for you to give yourself excellence and enjoy what the money could give you from robbing that bank without robbing a bank. It's just, you just got to go through maybe a harder path. You get what I'm saying? But so I'm not going to get into the minutia of that. You guys should be old enough to comprehend that the worst thing you could do is not make a decision on a decision that you got in your head, that you feel like you need to make a decision to do a specific thing, or this situation that is in my head has conjured up a decision. So now I need to make a decision on making that decision. You get what I'm saying? And do the decision or make the decision. So I wanted to start off with that to let you know it's all substance here. When you watch Individual Perspective, your individual perspective is all you need. And first you got to understand, you got to fight for your head. What's in your head? What's your ideological point of view? What's your idealism? What's the objective analysis tools that you use to listen to people, to comprehend information, to gather it, and to hypothesize it and come up with the most common denominator and that most common denominator equals the absolute truth. And it's objectivity in the analysis of that truth is just the objective truth. And that's why my tagline is individual perspective is when your truth is the objective truth. That's what we do here. Okay? So let's go to the next clip.
You need to forget about the overly complex morning routines and evening routines. Now look, I know I'm going to get burned at the stake for this one. But look, sometimes we in the personal development world, we can take things a little bit too far. A few years ago, I started to get hives anytime I heard about another hack and how to use this productivity hack or that health hack or this biohack or that burrito hack. I gotta say, I wanted to stick a hack and fork in my eye. And I will say I'm starting to feel the same way about this obsession with these elaborate morning routines and evening routines. I mean, yes, of course, we all want to take good care of ourselves. And yes, I do believe in meditating daily. I mean, all you need is 10 minutes. And yes, of course, it is smart to maintain healthy habits like working out. And by the way, if you love your morning routine and your evening routine and it's working for you, please keep going. I mean, rock on with your bad self. But honestly, if I see another headline with 635 things every successful person does before 5:30 a.m., I am going to stick another hack and fork in my eye. I mean, you guys, am I right?
Yes!
I'm telling you, because it's like people want you to spend an hour meditating and then a half hour journaling and then an hour working out and then another hour on your gratitudes. And then you need to go forage for acai berries. And then you need to put them in a bowl that you threw yourself on the pottery wheel. And then you need to do a coconut pull. And then before you know it, hey guys, just finished my morning routine. Who's ready to crush the day? Yeah. Hey, what are you guys watching?
It's the What the Hell Are You Doing Up So Late Tonight show with special guests, Pajamas, the Moon.
To go forage for acai berries and then
What the hell are you doing?
I'm skipping over this because
I did not have a morning routine.
I just want to
I was like you.
Get to the point.
I was working my day job and I was working my side hustle too. And I got to tell you.
Teddy Bear.
Sponsored by your morning routine that took all damn day. No room for side hustle. Promotional considerations.
Here is the real deal, my friend. When I first started, I was like you. I was working my day job and I was working my side hustle too. And I got to tell you, I did not have a morning routine. I did not have an evening routine. My only routine was this. It was working my damn ass off in every nook and cranny of time that I could find when I was not at my day job. It was messy. It was chaotic. And guess what? It all turned out just fine.
Okay, so the reason why I played her, and I want to give a shout out to her marieforleo.com. marieforleo.com. So I want to give a shout out to her because she's an achieved and an established and successful woman. So I don't want you to listen to her advice in a way that she was giving it, because it's very contradictory. She's telling you to not even bug yourself about a daily and evening routine, and that she was doing her job in the daytime or whatever, and her side hustle later, and then she decided that she was just like you, and she had a day job and a side, and she had a side hustle, and she was just doing whatever it took to just work her butt off to get to an achievement. That's a routine, okay? So she's in YouTube la la land, in social media la la land, where she's past the accomplishment, past the gravy train, past the actual situation where she's fighting for her life and fighting for legacy and fighting for value, economic up mobility, leveling up value. So now she can give this philosophical, don't destroy yourself, don't kill yourself to be great or to be good enough or to be excellent or to achieve goals and everything. Try to do it the best way you can. Just work hard and just be focused on what you're doing. That's a routine. If you got a 9 to 5, you working your butt off, you got to get up to go to that job. You got to be there at a specific time. That's a routine. Okay? So my point of bringing her in was that her mindset is good, and I understand that she's trying to have a more harmonious mindset and don't try to take a lot of the stress that we place on ourselves that kind of kills us and really puts us in an unhealthy situation. I understand that's her point, and she's right about a lot of that. And if you're evolved and you're accomplished and everything like that, and you just need a person that communicates an even keel or more meditational mindset to you, then she's really good at it. I understand what she's trying to do, and you can see it in the color palettes around her and how she decorates herself. It's very uplifting to watch her and listen to her and stuff like that. So Marie Forleo, you guys check her out, okay? marieforleo.com, marieforleo.com. And Foreleo, I think that's what it was. But you can check her out. You can rewind the tape to get her website that was on the screen. My point is telling you, no, you need to get yourself into something like, and it's not me telling you anything. This is how I'm starting Monday. Now I'm not waiting for the first. You get what I'm saying? I'm already extremely disciplined. I'm already aggressive to my goals, and I would do some extreme sacrifices to get what I'm trying to get accomplished. But one of the things I want to do even more, for even just putting my podcast on and talking to you guys and having information to talk to you guys, is I want to be more consistent at it. I want to be unmerciful. So I actually, 2 days ago, I did a calendar of what time I can actually do my editing and what I'm doing in my movie stuff and designs and everything like that, and what time I could give to my podcasting and everything. And I have to do it within those times, and I can't go out of it. You get what I'm saying? So my message to you guys is, this is what works for me. All the stuff I'm saying to this, it's just what it is. It's the objective truth. So I don't know if you're going to use it. I don't know if it's a value for you, but you are your value. And how you decide to move through your life and the things you did, trust me, in this crooked, ridiculous, shady world, in this manipulating, psychologically crazy world where you have the most sanctimonious people that are the shittiest people when they got to success. You get what I'm saying? And then they kind of psychologically manipulate you. And now it's got so bad where that people are getting people to watch them and support them but have a passive aggressive communication talking about them and calling them out. People are giving money to people that are being disrespectful to them. It's a psychological warfare big time. And it's so funny what the CIA did to our society. And I know that sounds conspiracy theory, but what our politicians and our government and our CIA did to psychological warfare on the actual citizen, it actually made average citizen or level up citizens or the social media influencers and the actual podcaster, it made them disrespect even the most minute citizen, the most in between, like the most citizens that the news media and politicians are not reaching and manipulating. The social influencers are getting the people that's in between the cracks, that's watching like Facebook videos or Instagram videos or YouTube videos or Rumble videos that news media and the most high elite media platforms can't reach. They even have some of the people that look like us and they come from our background and they communicate in a vernacular like us. They have them even manipulating and psychologically, like, how can I say, they're psychologically being passive aggressive and putting they're putting the average human being's morality and their actual self-esteem down, or they at least confusing them where they're not even moving forward, because you just talked about me that I'm not up there enough. I'm not a 6-figure guy, so I need to just shut up and stay by myself because I'm not even valued to be even considered in society. That's what you just told me, but you're telling me to level up. It's crazy. So that's what I mean by the dubious, sanctimonious personalities out there. It's crazy, and they got power, unimaginable power. I don't think they ever gonna stop getting power, because I don't even think people gonna watch my videos that much, because if my videos pushing the algorithm, then I might get these people to attack me, and so be it. I'm ready. I don't really kind of communicate on any of my podcast episodes where it's not what's really going on in my life, you know what I mean, and what's the situations and the ups and downs that I'm going through. But I'm cleaner than a lot of you knuckleheads out here that's talking this crazy stuff, you know. So I don't care if they come for me, but at the same time, I need you guys to understand it's nothing more important than you. You are the most important thing about you and what's around you. Don't look at these social media influencers. Don't look at these podcasters. Don't look at politicians. Don't look at musicians. Don't look at movie stars. Don't look at philosophical speakers and motivational speakers. Don't look at, they are crappy. They're like a tool. They're like a screwdriver for you. And you just use them the way that you specifically need to use them. But you need to go in with the understanding that you are using them. You are using them as a screwdriver. And you throw them the fuck away like you got millions of dollars to buy another screwdriver. Don't put value on them more than you put on yourself. Because what are they doing with that value that you guys are putting on them? They're elevating their life, elevating their lifestyle, and they dogging you out. None of the influencers can call me anything, because I'm achieving the stuff that I want to achieve in my life, and they're not giving me no value to achieve those things. They were done way before I even heard this stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that we're enjoying or even interacting or listen to people talk about relationships and all this stuff like this. This is only 4 years old, y'all. This is only 4 years old. Most people was not going to YouTube to actually get life advice. You know what I'm saying? They were like learning how to fix the microwave or the Keurig, or they were doing tips on doing better editing or doing better photography or special effects or being a better cook or or choosing a product or something like that. This is what majority the time of YouTube and social media was geared towards. That looks good, that looks like my style, that looks like something I would do and I would use, so I'm gonna watch that and see what the review is on it, and then I'm gonna make my decision on if I'm gonna purchase it or do it. You get what I'm saying? It was never to have a bunch of Tony Robinsons tell you about your life from the hood all the way up to people that worked corporate and multi-million-dollar jobs, and then they took that money and then they became social influencer and podcasters, and now they dictating to you about how much of a loser you are. So it's I just want you guys to understand, it sounds like I'm triggered by people kind of communicating my value to me, and I'm telling you, even when I'm going through hard financial times, I understand the decisions that I made over the last 6 years of getting into the film industry and making these big adventures and making these big decisions to do what I gotta do to accomplish movies and go out there and film them, write them and film them and actually execute on capturing them and then putting them into editing form and whatever it took for me to get real, actual good presentation movie. Not no ghetto stuff, a really good presentation movie. I knew that was going to put me in the most horrible financial hole in the different situations financially to my life. It was going to slow my economical lifestyle down because I'm putting all that into getting the assets, getting the property, getting the films done. So I knew the average movie for the last 100 years, I'll say from 1910, 1913, 1915 to, let's say, 2015, all the movies that got done in between that, you would have had to have millions, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in inflation. You would have had to have big money to accomplish one movie. With the help of Steve Jobs and what he gave to people to understand in the industry, to understand how to manufacture sensors and editing software and all this stuff like that, he gave the ability of an average human being to make a multi-million-dollar movie if they do it the right way. So I knew the endeavor. If you don't got the money, you better have the time. If you don't have the time, you better have the money. That's going to come up. So I knew if I didn't have money, I had to put the time in to do a great piece of artwork, a great cinematic presentation. And that's what I've consumed the last 6 years, putting about 10 movies together. And I would say 7 of those movies is something that my heart and soul is getting put into. So I knew that was going to hurt me financially a little bit. That was going to make me where I couldn't buy $100,000 cars or purchase big houses or go on big trips and stuff like that. But I did it for better value that actually has economical value for a little bit more longer time than just a 2 to 3, 4, 5 years. It's going to give me value for decades to come, and it's going to live past me. Okay, so that's the decision I made, and that was the risk I took, and I don't regret it. So I don't care how people hypothesize what kind of money a person should have. If sometimes for great value and and great accomplishments, you're gonna have to have momentary inefficiency and financial stability. You get what I'm saying? And I was okay with that. So I don't regret any path that I'm taking. I really love the paths I'm taking, and I'm telling you, paths I took 10, 20 years ago, paths I took 6 years ago, paths I took 2 years ago have absolutely been great decisions I made on the chessboard to checkmate. You get what I'm saying? And I knew it then. I'm not living in the today. I'm not living in today. Decisions I made are absolutely decisions that are fruitful to me right now. The decisions I'm making right now are absolutely going to be, I'm not going to regret them 10 years from now on my deathbed. When I decided to get into film 6 years ago, I left a corporate job. I left a work job to not die on my deathbed, regretting that I haven't achieved at least who I am and what my abilities are and what my skill level is. I just felt like, man, people live 50, 60, 70 years, and it'd be just terrible for me to die. And I just didn't take 10 years of that to do me, to actually fight for what my real abilities are, my real skill level is, and what is my real voice. You can go back to work. You can you can work all the way up to 40 years old and maybe go back to work when you're 50 if you're just completely a failure at what you wanted to accomplish or what you felt that your value was. I guess you can do that. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? I just felt no matter what, I was going to give myself 10 years to really fight for me, fight for what I wanted to achieve and experience in this life and what my skill level was and what I look in the mirror knowing that my abilities are, so it was so funny because I found the video that I think it was Denzel Washington has said about that. Let me see if I see it here. Give me a second. I'm trying to find it. But I just thought it would be just terrible for me to live a life like that. You know what I mean? And so that's why I told myself, nope, this is the right time. I'm gonna take the decade, and I'm gonna go ahead and that's what it was. Yeah, I know what it was now. I'm actually talking to you guys as I'm thinking about this, and it was I deleted an actual clip that I thought I had 2 times, but at the same time it was a different intro to it, and it's where I think it was where the Denzel Washington clip came in. So this might slow down my internet. I mean my video. I hope not. So I'm gonna. Because I always have issues when I'm doing podcasts, and then when I start to play with clips and everything like that. Let's see how this is. This is right. No, that's not it. You hear it in the background. I'm clicking on video clips to see which one is the one that I was talking about. But like I said, I want to kind of tell you guys that we're going to get to the videos. I'm going to the videos now, and I'm going to my point of view. But sometimes I like to give a deeper conversation on why I'm saying this stuff, why I'm even communicating this stuff to you guys. And I want you to understand, I am not trying to be a talking head. I'm not trying to be a person that give you advice. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not even trying to put myself in that kind of situation. I'm telling you things you already know, reassuring, understanding that you already know. I'm not here to really disrespect your own knowing. I'm really not. So this is, I think this is the clip that I was looking for. So let me make sure that I present it to you guys in a soundbite-ish way and a good presentation. So I'm just kind of going here to see if this is the video clip. I don't think so. Wow, that's interesting. So maybe I just need to play it, and when it comes up, maybe I'll stop and talk about it. But let's play the next clip, okay?
Do you have any regrets?
No, don't have time to regret. We move on because we are acceptable for what we are, not what we think we should be. I'm accepted in myself by what I am, but not as I think I should be, because that's a lie. I'm a sinner. I'm an old sinner. I've done some bad things. I've done some good things. So, you just forgive yourself and move on.
Do you have any...
So his advice, and you pretty much understand that. It's not like I got to kind of tell you guys, but I just want to put it in a little bit more, philosophical way. He's speaking philosophical, but that guy asked him, do he got any regrets? He said he ain't got time for the regrets. No time for the regrets. You live your life. You just go through, you make the decisions you got to make, and we good or bad. We all kind of make mistakes. We all kind of have like things that we did good or bad. It's just you do them. You living your life. You just doing. You know what I mean? And you just keep moving on, and you just forgive yourself for maybe things that you don't like that you did, and move on. You don't have regrets. Regrets is like that you feel that where you at right now, who you are right now, and your existence as a whole is based on things that you wish you didn't do in the past. No, don't do that. Move. Do. No matter who likes it, no matter if it's good, no matter if it's bad, do. Be, and this goes back to the psychological psychosis of making decisions. Just do, because I'm just telling you, when you interview successful people, when you interview people that just had a good life or a happy life or something like that, most of the things that, if you really knew what question to ask them, you're gonna find out that not making decisions or not doing stuff was worse than doing it. Okay, so I just want to keep that in mind, keep that in focus. Okay, so let's go to the next clip. And this is just about making decisions on the perspective of people that made them. You know what I mean?
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
83.
You're very kind. I'm 95.
And yourself? Almost?
89.
If you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what advice would you give to him and her?
Try to be as positive as you can, because tomorrow's going to be a better day unless you make it a worse day. How old do you think?
Okay, stupid music came in and ruined the answer, but he was saying like try to be positive. And I think even when my finances and stuff be going so bad and it piles up on me, and it's just like, it's just really hard. The thing that gets me to the next day, the next moment, the next minute, the next hour, the interacting with some kind of, not laying on the ground and just completely giving up, is to understand, breathe, and understand, keep living. Things will get better. At the least, you'll get past it. It will fall far away into the ether. You know what I'm saying? And whatever happened, it'll still be in existence, but it'll be so distant away from what's going on right now. So that's the best I can even tell myself. Just stay positive, and the way you stay positive is understanding that whatever the moment is the moment. It's just a moment, and in the next moment there's another moment that's different, and it's past the moment that you're in, because that just happened. But wait another minute, and it was something that happened a minute ago. Wait another hour, it's something that happened an hour ago. Wait another day, get to another day, it's something that happened yesterday. Get to another month, it's something that happened last month. Get to another year, it's something that happened a year ago. And as long as you look at it like that, whatever's going on right now, just keep that in mind. And that's positiveness to fight the crazy stuff that's a society and people that disappoint us and our culture and just the manipulation of destroying your greatness from you or trying to make you think that you're not good enough. You are the most important thing about you in your life. Please remember that and look at it that way. And stay positive by understanding that everything falls away. It falls away. No matter what happened, no matter what just happened, no matter what the most horrible situation that's going on in your life. And trust me, I be wanting to hold on to some stuff because it pissed me off and it makes me where I would never talk to a person, never be around a person, never engage with a person. And I want to hold on to that anger right there. But I tell myself, you can still not have to deal with the person because you let them fall away. You let what the issue is, what's the relationship is, you let that relationship be something that happened, something that you had, something that you experienced a minute ago, an hour ago, a day ago, a month ago, a year ago. It's gone. You let it fall away and go get distance from you. That's what helps me. And it's the truth. And if you look at it, it's not just a talking point. It's not psychological manipulation or some kind of motivational. No, fuck all that. Excuse my language. But no, it's the truth. It's what is. And if you think about it, you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. Okay? Let's go to the next clip.
I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. You got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit.
And so that's Kobe Bryant, and what I wanted you to get from that is when he's saying like, let me play that clip again.
I want to have to say, I wish I would have done more.
And that's just how it was for me. And it's like, don't look at it as being a basketball player. Look at it as if you wanted to build a table and finish it and sand it down and make it an actual luxury table that if somebody would have went to a furniture store, they would have probably paid $300 to $3,000 for your table. Okay? If you want to make that table, you've made the decision to make the table. So make the table, no matter what your time is, no matter how much you got to do it in the middle of the night. Your kiddo says, so you work a job from 7 in the morning to 5 at night or something like that, and then you got to deal with your kids and your family, or just kind of doing the routine situations that actually help people through their lives, or the responsibilities that you have through after your work hours and stuff like that. You still want to make that table, then make the table. You might have to do it in the middle of the night. You might have to do it at 2 to 4 or 12 midnight or 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And that's the only time you have to do it daily. Just do it. You might find ways that's a little difficult to make the table, but you at times and ways that you need to find time to make the table. It might be in the most obscure and in momentary things. You'll maybe only have a half an hour to mess with it, an hour to mess with it on each day, or during the midnight, maybe a couple hours to do it. Whatever it is, understand that's all you have. That's all the time that you have. That's the only thing you could give to it, and find consistent time or something routine or discipline situation, so you can make sure that you get that accomplished. And that's how his message is. He decided to be a basketball player, and he decided to get paid well to be a basketball player. So he should be being a basketball player in the best possible way that he could be a basketball player, because people are under illusion that he's valuable to play basketball and for them to watch him play basketball. So he should live up to that. And that's the message that he was given in that. And don't regret not make it a table. That's the message, you know. And I kind of put it down to a layman, everyday person, average person situation of his message and what he's accomplished and how he looks at his life and his job. But that's what us all, even down to just building a table. Just be disciplined about being at table, building that table, because that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to build that table. You absolutely have the ambition to want to build that table. So build the table and don't regret 5 years or a year or 2 months down the road that you didn't even build that table, and you still wish you built that table. That's the message in that. Like I say again, all the things I'm saying is stuff that you already, it's reassuring you. It's giving validation already, reaffirming validation to what's in your head about you already. So don't let these social influencers or these podcasters or these motivational speakers make you think that you need so much of them to make you. You don't. You don't. I ain't selling this. I'm just saying it to you guys. This is learned information that football players in high school actually do this already. They got this mindset already. They may not be philosophical with it, but a lot of the methodology, the psychologicalness to it, and the psychology to it, they're automatically kind of interacting with themselves or talking to themselves in the way that I'm talking to you guys about this, and the way I talk to myself on a day-to-day basis. Okay, we're going to the next clip.
Get serious. That's number one. 10 years.
Yeah, I'm going to start that over again because he said you got to be serious. So I just want to play that.
Get serious.
Get serious.
That's number one. 10 years from now, you will surely become someone. The big question is, who?
Imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
That I'm telling y'all, I put this on my life. I just seen this clip today, like literally, like maybe about an hour ago before I started the podcast, or maybe an hour 15. I'll say maybe an hour 20 minutes ago. I seen that. I said, man, that was me in 2018. 2018. I worked my job. I was so good at it. I even had power in it. I had connection with even the general manager and the owners and the boards and stuff, members and stuff like that. I could call these people up and I could make them help me out in my situation of working that job and keeping that job and all the other stuff. And I had a lot of pull in that place. And I had some major pull, some major corporate people that come into it. Was like I was working at a hotel, very high end hotel, and it was we would kind of take care of clients and their actual teams that come and do projects for like 6 months to 3 years to 10 years, and they would be doing corporate projects and consultants and stuff like that, and you would be taking care of these people for multiple years, and then their project would end and they would leave and stuff like that. So I would take care of these people so much. So I had respect and I had interaction with some very, very high profile, powerful, functioning people in society. But the company was changing so much because the economics of the country was changing so much. I didn't know it at that time, but it was, and it was starting to be more taxing to my into my physicality, into my accomplishments, into even my economic standing. It was starting to be so taxing to keep the job and stay there that I just felt like, man, dude, I am not really, I'm taking so much pain and so much like stress and so much like unaccomplishment just to keep the hamster wheel going, working the job, paying for my rent, paying for my lifestyle, paying for the life that I want to leave, vacations and friends and all this stuff. That it was starting to be majority unfulfilled and it was just like I felt like I wasn't doing me. And at the same time, I would buy the latest equipment, I would do the latest studying and making sure that I was able to actually execute on the stuff that I wanted to accomplish in the film world and media and web building. And I was building apps. I was doing all kind of stuff just to make sure that my tools were sharpened and I was honing my skills and everything. And I was providing services for commercial situations for people, companies and stuff like that. So I wasn't like not doing the work. It was just, I wasn't really doing it. Like having the ability to actually execute on a movie, write it. And I never had time to even just sit down and write a script. I never had time to actually go do multiple days of filming and stuff like that. I never had time to be able to see myself, understand what it takes to even edit a full movie to put it together. I kept stalling that and prolonging that, doing what it took to get it accomplished, equipment wise and skill wise, and been executing to know how to get it done. But I kept prolonging it and putting a hold into some perfect time in the future, and it just kept adding up, years and years and decades kept adding up. And I was like, yeah, I gotta stop this. So I kept working the job, and then they had a corporate Hispanic lady come from Chicago up to the company, and she ran through that place like a evil, vindictive lady. And she had conflict with everybody because she was like a very confident Hispanic person that wanted to advocate the upmobility of the Hispanic culture and her place in the corporate world, and that she was doing big things, and she come from nothing and come from out of the country, and a lot of black people, they take stuff for granted. So that's how she was going on. And like, I never really had a major issue with her. But I watched her do it to other people, and how she attacked and really like made people fall into her trap, and she canned them and got them fired, and they had to quit, or some situation happened. She was doing some wild stuff. For me, it was just like I was watching what she was doing, and for me, I spent years having people stronger, powerful, more educated come into the facility and see how much power I have, and decide that, hey, you shouldn't be had that kind of power unless you're under the general manager or something like that. And for me, I always had people challenge me, and I would beat them at their game, and I'll get you out of here before you get me out of here. You get what I'm saying? So that's how my personality was, and that's how I actually interacted, and I executed on that. But this time I told myself, no, Daris, you gotta live your life and at least have a moment in your life where you actually achieved what you wanted to achieve. Not trying to keeping up with the Joneses and the society and what the value of other people have for you. Do you, and actually execute it, and actually try your best to find an economical mobility leveling up in it. So that was in 2018, and by May 2018, I decided to walk away. And I walked away, and I told myself I wouldn't make a film until 2023, and I was going to go out and help people have better presentations to what they were doing, because it was just a lot of people spending so much money in the city making movies and stuff, but their stuff was so terrible, so ghetto. It's just ridiculous. I said, hey, I'm gonna provide my service to make sure people, I know what everybody's job is. I know how to execute myself on what everybody's doing. I don't care if it's from makeup to lighting to camera to editing to quality control. I know everything and skilled myself, not in makeup, but at the same time what I'm looking for and how to delegate to a makeup artist what I'm looking for and what's best for the movie and stuff. I know I'm pretty efficient in all of it. So I told myself I would go out there and help people make their products a little bit better. And so much crazy stuff happened in that first year that I decided to go and make a movie literally like 9 months or 8 months from that time that I quit my job. And I wasn't supposed to do any movie making for myself until like 2023, but I decided to do it. At least it was at 4 years earlier than I wanted to, and what my goals were and my structures were. And by the time I was done, and I'm sitting here in 2025, and I got 7 movies that I did, and I really did some good movies. It's independent and it's low budget, but it's got teeth to it, and it's got great professional presentation to it, and I'm doing the best I can to make sure that I retain the vision and the presentation that was constructed, that was shot, that's there to be presented, and not try to do some rush job and skip over stuff. Do the job right. And a lot of people didn't like that I made decision. They say, oh, why are we waiting another year? Why are we waiting 2 years? Why are we waiting 3 years for this movie to come out? It's because people's shirts, people cars, people clothing, people phones haven't really changed that much in the last 3 years. And I'm going to make sure I present this where people not saying, oh man, this is so hard to watch. It's like my cousin Pookie made it, or my cousin Pookie in it. I want them to enjoy it like if they was watching something on HBO or Netflix or something. Until I get to that, I'm going to follow my method and follow my psychosis of doing great presentation. If you got the time, you don't need the money. But if you don't have the money, you need the time. If that's the way it is with me. And I'm not really taking in a low IQ person. That ain't me. That ain't got power. I own everything. So I'm going to do it the way I feel is efficient to make sure that it plays more than 6 months in Detroit. You get what I'm saying? I want it to play years. And people come across the thumbnail. People come across the movie. They watch this trailer as a thumbnail goes over it, or they pick the movie in a streaming platforms UI, what they call interface and everything like that, user interface, that when they come to it and they looking at it, they actually click on and they watch it, and they keep watching it well past the intro, the first 20 minutes, you know what I mean? Let them watch it to the end and see the love that was put into it. So that's my theory of it. And a reason why I told you that, because I really had that moment that Denzel Washington was talking about in that clip. I told myself I don't want to be on my deathbed, and I didn't give myself 10 years of doing what I'm really good at, what I'm really skillful at, and what my real abilities are. I didn't want to live for 50, 60, 70 years and have to look at myself like, man, that was chicken shit that you just didn't even try to make one movie. It's ridiculous. You love making movies. You know about it. You've been training yourself from your young age doing this stuff, and you didn't even give a decade of your life to it. All you did was work a job and pay your bills right on time and make sure that you go on vacation and have friends and go out to restaurants and all this stuff. That's the definition of your life. No, dude, you need to get your ass and sacrifice all the momentary things and the material things, even go into financial difficulties to make movies. And I was thinking that I was just going to make one movie in 2023. And hustle and bustle and making sure that I keep the ball rolling. I end up kind of getting about, I'll say 7 movies done. And I'm grateful for it because now the 7 movies that will live past me. And it was worth it. Worth it for me. I don't regret anything. So I really felt that message that Denzel Washington, and I'm just giving you guys where I'm not here just telling you hypothetical stuff. This is really things that it's just that honest, objective truth that was what I had to even interact with. Okay, next clip.
Say just listen to yourself. Don't listen to anybody else. Not one person, because God forbid anything went wrong. You can't blame other people and start pointing the finger. Always know that you're only to blame yourself because you made that decision. And whatever you do in life, never regret it. Never if, buts, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Give everything while you can, when you can, and leave nothing behind.
See, I totally agree with that. Don't. You gotta follow you. And I'll say this again, and I've been saying this, and it's important for me because that message that I heard this morning that triggered me. It's hundreds of thousands of people, millions that's gonna come across that video, and they're gonna pat them on the back and make them feel like they gave them great information. And all it is a ha ha ha. I told you that you were dumb. Following me, supporting me. Look what kind of happiness I give to my life. Look what kind of happiness like you give to me by not really having confidence in yourself. That's what the message that person sent. You get what I'm saying? And I'm telling people, if it's anything that you learn, and all these if you're watching my thread, I got these little moments, and this episode is gonna fall into that. I got these things where I'm doing where it's like mindset inventory. This is mindset inventory 3. I labeled it a cesspool island of dubious, sanctimonious personalities, but really it's that in this mindset inventory episode 3. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because you are the most important person in your life, in your circle, in your up mobility, in your finances and everything. All you got to do is understand all the stuff, all the books, all the messaging, all the podcasting, all the motivational quotes or clips that you find. You already know this stuff. You already knew what you did wrong when you made what move or what decision you didn't make because you regretted the consequences of making that decision. You already did this. So talk to you. You look yourself in the eye. Don't look down. You are the most important thing about you, not these social influencers. All they could do is reaffirm information that you already have. So stop. It's enough. So when I'm talking like this, I know even me talking to you like this is good audio, visual, audio podcasting. You don't even have to hear me, look at me. You could just listen to it while you're working on a car, while you making that table, while you cooking, while you doing whatever you do that you have time to even go on to my podcast and listen to this podcast episode. This is more for entertainment value and reassuring you informative information you already got in your head. Okay, so please guys, don't disrespect yourself. Don't disrespect yourself for these influencers and these podcasters. These people, they not doing the job that they need to be doing. You get what I'm saying? Their job is supposed to be fighting the big multi-million platforms and the actual system and the actual things that are psychologically manipulating the average human being to keep themselves as a subject of the elites. Things that psychologically stop people from actually listening to themselves. That's it. I don't got no advice for you. All I'm doing is giving you, reaffirming things you already talking to yourself. And I'm letting you know that the people you're looking up to, you're taking their classes, you're looking at their meetups, you're doing their Patreons and all that other stuff. That's all good. That's all good. But I really feel that the time has come where every human being in America has the ability to be a six-figure earner and up. It's just that we listen to people with more than us and more influence than us and more clout than us, and we do things psychologically to validate their leveling up, their value to society, and we don't know that it's an exchange there. The more praise we give them, the more respect we give them, the most accommodations we give them, the most validity that we give them, we subdue ours. We degrade ours. We lower ours. And that's got to stop. Okay? Next clip.
Hormozi says, I think it's Layla actually, that says, fear is an inch deep and a mile wide. So when you look at it, it looks like a huge ocean that's going to cause you to drown. But when you step in it, you realize it's really shallow and you're going to survive. You step in it.
That's a good quote. I love that. He said, who did he say said that? Leela, something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's a philosopher or something like that. Some philosopher. Because he said Hormozi, and then he said, no, I think it's Leela or something like that. Let me go rewind that. Yeah, it's Layla, whoever that is. I gotta look that up myself. To find out who he's talking about, because they got quotes and stuff. So I would like to.
He says, I think it's Layla actually.
Layla. So whoever says that, they said that an ocean is what did he say?
That says fear is an inch deep and a mile wide.
Yeah, fear is an inch deep and a mile wide. Wow, it looks really endless if you're looking at it from a distance in visualization. But when you step in it, you'll find out that it's just the measurement of your foot up to your ankles or something. You get what I'm saying? That's about it. And the fear that is deeper than it is stops you from stepping in there. You get what I'm saying? Stops you from doing. And that's just another message to say, and I'm sure you already know what I'm about to say, that not doing is worse than doing. Not accomplishing something is worse than you're not doing. Not taking a movement or an action is worse than not doing it. You get what I'm saying? I mean, worse than doing it. Not taking an action is worse than not doing. You know what I mean? And so again, not making a decision is worse than making a decision. I'll say it again. Not making a decision is worse than making the decision. That's what we have thousands of years have shown us about human evolution and human accomplishments and human endeavors. To modern society web thing, if you look at all these podcasters and social influencers and moguls and successful billionaires and millionaires to our society, you'll find out that most of their success comes from them doing, and we're sitting on the sidelines not doing. So no matter succeed or failure, doesn't matter. Just do it, and when you fail, do it again. That's just the way it is, y'all. Ain't no rocket science behind this stuff. Okay? I got 2 more clips. They're pretty short, though.
Any common thread that runs through all these successful people?
Gosh, I'd say the one common thread of anybody that I work with is successful. Financial, athletes, people in politics, it's hunger. That hunger to be more, to do more, to give more, that hunger that never ends. That's how you get these people that are the best in the world at whatever they do. And so if you can, I think everybody has that hunger, but for some people it's been asleep for a long time because they're afraid. They're afraid that I'm gonna get hungry, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna fail. And so it's human nature to protect yourself from the fear by just lowering your expectations. But one of the things I've learned is you get what you tolerate. You get what you tolerate in yourself, you get what you tolerate in your life, and sooner or later, we sometimes hit a point where we say, not another day, not another hour, this is done. I'm not walking this way, I'm not talking this way, I'm not living this way, I'm not gonna be in this relationship anymore, I'm gonna change it. And when people do that, that's the beginning of a breakthrough.
Yep. And that's very true. That's very, very true. That's very true. He was asking the question of what's the most common denominator, what's the most common thing in successful people, and that's what he gave that answer, and that's the truth. It's the truth. I'll just do it one more time because I want to make a point.
Successful financial athletes, people in politics.
Any common thread that runs through all these successful people?
Gosh, I'd say the number one common thread of anybody that I work with is successful financial athletes, people in politics. It's hunger. That hunger to be more, to do more, to give more. That hunger that never ends.
And where do you get that hunger from? See, that's where, do all his rhetoric, he never tells you where you get that hunger from. You get that hunger once you understand that somebody's disrespecting the value of you when all you wanted to do was respect them. You know what I'm saying? When somebody tells you that you're this, but you know that you're more than that. And now it's a war to not stay humble and civilized about it. But now it's time to turn it up. Now it's time to aggressively. That's why I said, and it's 3:15 p.m. on a Sunday, December 29th, 2024. And I'm telling you, Monday, 12 a.m., the 30th, 2024, I'm going to war. People going to call me and they're not going to get an answer. I already made my decision. I can't. If I keep trying to connect, keep trying to keep something tight there, I'm just echoing. It's extending something that already is dead. It's ridiculous. So it's not anger. It's just understanding I'm prolonging something that I'm not happy about. The relationships is not beneficial for me. Or at the least we don't value each other like we should, or it's not reciprocal. Or it's like you think your value is higher than my value. And I don't even move like that. Every time I communicate, I show that we got value that we give to each other, but we got to keep it focused and make sure you understand you got to fight for that value too. You got to respect that value too. And all people do is tell me and show me in plenty of ways in their action that no, I'm the value and I'm more than you. And I'm like, well, come on. The paperwork, the achievements, and the ability and the actual physicality of the situation is 100% otherwise. But you can't keep talking. You can't keep talking about it. You got to move forward. You got to not prolong. You got to understand that you are the solution, and you need to actually do it. You need to solve it now. And how do you do it? You isolate all noise. Take it. There's no more noise. No more conflict. No more pontificating. You know, you're literally attacking forward. And the hunger is making that change. And why you got to make that change is because this society think you don't even have it in you. Your family don't think you even have it in you. Your surroundings don't think you even have it in you. Your community don't think you have it in you. Society don't think you got it in you. Your favorite influencer saying, oh, you could do this, and then behind your back they laughing, enjoying their life, and you're nowhere near where you putting them at. So they know 99% of y'all, whack. You just gonna make my life better. And that's the only value you got. I say today, right now, be a value for you. And if people not advocating you, don't listen to them, don't follow them, don't subscribe. I know that's sound like some hater stuff, but I feel like if people don't value you, not that you gotta pay them to value you, just straight up, all the achievements, all the liquid that they got, that if they don't show, they can still do everything that they doing, but show some respect to you. And if they don't do it, if you see them doing it to anybody, you know what I'm saying? Even a person that would give me a horrible chat or something like that, I'm seeing where they come from. And even if it's like disrespectful or make me feel bad or something like that, I'm gonna look at what they're saying, and then I'm gonna break it down to them why they're just absolutely wrong, and let that echo on. Not that I have to destroy them and destroy them that they not me and they don't achieve what I achieved and they just a regular human being. Nope. I value a Popeye's chicken worker more than I value a multimillionaire politician, a multimillion Hollywood person. Why? Because your greatness comes from that Popeye's chicken worker going to work, busting their ass, and they going to the movies. They buying your CD. They looking at your podcast. So you a piece of shit without them. So you better respect that Popeye's chicken employee. And you don't value and dictate their failures because they work in a Popeye's chicken job. You don't have the right to do that. Multi-millionaires, y'all pull y'all ass up to Popeye's chicken. And now you gonna dictate who's in there serving you? Hey, I'm pulling up in the drive-thru. Hey, I want to order a 12-piece with such and such size. Okay, and then you go up to the cashier window. Hey, man, how old is you? What you doing working here this old? When you this old? You a loser. You don't want to say that because they might fuck with your food, but that's your overall psychosis and your thought process and your theory of the value of human beings in America. I'm not going to call you a loser because if you're over the age of 16 or 22 years old and you work at Popeye's Chicken, you're a loser. And I'm giving you super chats. We got to stop, y'all. This is how the people get the power. Understand what these elites and these arrogant ass people are saying to you. Nothing's better than you. You are the best advice you can give yourself. You. Okay? I know I already played a lot of clips to show you proof of that. Okay? So please understand it. Last clip.
Here's the secret that most super successful people aren't going to tell you. It's understanding this, that the gap between good and great is surprisingly large. But the gap between good and good enough, well, that's pretty small. And in fact, it's a gap that most of us can cross. But we get stuck into thinking that we have to become great or we have to become the best, whether it's in business or in life or whatever. But there can only be one best. And you don't have to be the best in order to become wildly successful. You just have to be good enough. In fact, in many cases, you just have to be better than average. And that's doable for pretty much everybody out there, as long as you're applying consistent daily fundamental actions and doing it on a long enough time frame, you will eventually become good enough. So stop setting your sights on becoming great or becoming the best. Bring them down a little bit and just focus on becoming good enough. Stuck into thinking.
And what he's saying is really good. It's really good. But my problem is, and this is the problem I have with a lot of social influencers and podcasters, and you will look at a video like this, and it's not him, but this, because I'm talking about this, a lot of people, okay? You will hear them say these great, insightful things, but it's so much in the philosophical bantering of it that it's not concrete enough for you to take action, for you to know how to apply it right now to your thought process. So that's why I always come in and I kind of put it in you and me. We're talking to each other. We're having a conversation. And thank God these guys and all the people that I played today in these clips they gave, these are valuable lessons. That's why they're communicating it. because they got great mindset and it worked for them, and it could work for you too. But every human being is not looking at it from their perspective. So you got to almost put it in a universal layman terms. Okay. And I'm layman. I love layman. I want content that's layman and quickly adjustable. Okay. Doesn't mean that I'm not a high intellectual. Doesn't mean that you're not a high intellectual. It just means that you're listening. You're fixing a car and you're listening to the podcast. You're building a house and you're listening to the podcast. You're on your lunch break and you're listening to the podcast. You're taking a shower and you're listening to the podcast. You're washing dishes and you're listening to the podcast. You're doing something that you don't need complications to ingest something and enjoy what you're listening to and what you're in the conversation that's intaking into what you're listening to. So I'm just trying to make it where this podcast gets the powerful people to communicate what they're communicating, but for me to actually have us in a relative thing, something psychologically that it's easy for us to have reference to and everything in communication. And he's saying the distance between good and great is big. Yeah, because good and great is literally a well efficient mechanic that got a well efficient mechanic that has a body shop, or like a pretty much auto mechanic place. And Elon Musk. Elon Musk is great. The mechanic with his entrepreneur mechanic repairs place, he's good. So good is mechanic, entrepreneur with his own mechanical repair shop, and Elon Musk with Tesla, SpaceX. That's Elon Musk is great. The mechanic with his own body shop is good. Okay. Everybody's trying to psychologically tell themselves they that, but everybody, majority, even all your favorite podcasters, your favorite social media influencers, your favorite real estate moguls, and all these people that you kind of look up to and you look at them like they the greatest thing on the planet, and celebrities and politicians and stuff like that, they're just as valuable as you, and you fall into a person that's good enough. And what is good enough? The entrepreneur with the mechanic body shop, the musician, the actual the actor, you know what I mean? The web developer, the actual coder, the construction worker, the garbage man that's been there for like 10-20 years consistently, and he's vested and he's got money in 401k, and he's kind of buying his boat and everything because he's been working a job, been getting paid a good 40 to 50 grand a year and stuff like that. The automotive factory person, the coal miner, the person that's working at the oil rig, the person that's the average person is good and good enough, but you just got to know how to make sure you give value to yourself at all times. And most people could be good enough, and that's the successful majority in society. And our elites, they keep finding ways to pick in our pocket, to pick on our bones, to stop us from elevating, because we're trying to keep a normalcy to what we're ingesting, information, watching content, or having something where we can come home from a hard day's work, 18 hours of work, or 20 hours of work, or even 12 hours of work, and then we just want to click on the TV and watch something on Netflix. We want to click on TV, and society tells you that you're wrong for doing that. But the thing is, keep doing that. But take $2,000 that you have and invest it in somebody's movie, invest it in somebody's music. But do an inventory that they actually know what they're doing and they actually got a good goal. Because the achievement of the goal and the multiplication of the goal is not really where the success comes from in a goal. The worthy endeavor is. most successful people invest in, or they actually put their money into something that was just a good idea. And then the way that idea is managed is what makes it successful. I know I'm going into the weeds there. It look like I'm kind of advocating for my own financial stability or people to invest in what I'm doing. And it's not really that. It was just giving an example that was really quick that I can kind of communicate to you that makes sense to me. And when I'm thinking of it, it makes sense to you, so I can have a quick communication. Sometimes I stall in my communication. Even when you listen to my podcast, it sounds like I'm not communicating fast enough, or I'm hesitating, or I'm stuttering or something. No, it's just I'm trying to find a formulated way that I know that I hit the mark. And sometimes, it doesn't make for a fluid podcast, but a lot of podcasters chop out that stuff. I just leave it in there. So this is my message to you guys, okay? Okay, we are dealing with a cesspool island of dubious, sanctimonious personalities, okay, y'all? Okay? And that title means so much when you're taking a mindset inventory of how you need to move forward and how you need to be and what your understanding need to be when you're interacting with society, people, decisions, and everything. So my message to you guys is that I need you guys to understand that honing your inner voice is the answer. That's the answer to everything that you're thinking of. It's the answer to it all. Don't allow people to find a way to get value from you to tell you the way that they think your value need to be for yourself in order for you to have a level up. You already know the answers. You already know what you need to do. You already know how you need to do it. You already know your conditions and the situations that you're dealing with. You don't really need people to kind of tell you how to do a calendar and say at this time of this day and this time of this day, I can only do this at this time. I can only do this at this time, and then have that knowledge in the calendar, and then try your best to be routine and disciplined to it. You don't need nobody for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's already things that we already know. And thank you guys for listening to this podcast. I know I went almost 2 hours on this and stuff like that, but I felt from that crazy situation and the message or the little clip that I heard or seen on social media earlier today, it was so disrespectful to the people and the average person and people that actually do super chats and they give money to these people and be part of their Patreons and their memberships and all this stuff like that. And then to see like, man, dude, like, I want people to watch my channel. Please subscribe, please follow, please like, and want to contribute to my links, my Vimo, and everything is in the link at the bottom, and my PayPal, or even super chat me or something like that. I want them to give that to me because I entertained them and it was worth listening to it, or kind of taking in a point of view I had on a politician or something that specifically happened in our culture and our life and everything like that. Because I'm giving even when I'm doing reactions about stuff that's in the news and the media and psychological stuff that we can evaluate to what does this mean? What does that mean? When they said that, they try to keep it in a lawyer speak or politician speak or PR speak, but what does it really mean objectively, truthfully, and what it really is? And they could never tell you that it don't mean that, because the facts tell you that it means that. I talk to you guys in that manner. That's what my podcast is about. That's what I'll be talking to you about. Individual perspective means that when your truth is the objective truth. Individual Perspective Podcast is about when your truth is the objective truth. And that's all I'm here to do, is to talk about everything that goes on in society and our lives and the different politicians, movie stars, entertainment, the social dynamics of our lives and different life. It's just stuff that plays in the history and the evolution of humanity, and then how it's articulated is different from what it is and what it is. That's what I'm here for. I know that sounds crazy what I just said, but look, we're going into 2025, and this is episode 3 of Mindset Inventory. And yes, I call it a cesspool island of dubious, sanctimonious personality. That's what social media is. It's a cesspool island of dubious, sanctimonious personalities, meaning that there's good people there, it's good information that's there, it's stuff that's in there, on there, that's just the way it is. This is what happened. It got recorded, it got captured, it's in the history books of humanity, evolution, and interactions of humanity, bad or good, it is what happened. But then you got so many people that are part of this society that are there to manipulate you psychologically, keep you as a subject, and higher their value as an elite, as a royalty. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of what they do is to stop you from being able to have action in your life, because they tell you these obscure advice. But you got to go into their membership. You got to go into their Patreon. You got to go into so many layers of stuff in order to get the common sense communication. Okay. Everything you need to know about success, about what's the issue is with yourself and your goals and accomplishing your goals and the personalities that's around you is all in this one episode. Okay. It's there. It's out there. I hope you guys get some value in it. I know I'm a nobody. I know I ain't got no major success and everything like that. So you say, hey, if it ain't working for you, it's working for me in my way. I'm a filmmaker. I wanted to achieve being a filmmaker. I did everything possible to make sure that it's not an idea, it's real. So I achieved it literally 2 to 3 years before I actually deadline was supposed to do it. I'm doing big accomplishment for my goal of 10 years. Within 6 years, I did it. And I get to reap the benefits in the 7th year. But my bigger picture was 10 years. So for me, I don't have any regrets. I like the path that I took, and I understand the worst case scenario, the best case scenario, and I tell you, it's good for me. Okay, so as this year kind of comes where I present all these movies to you guys, I hope you guys tune in. I'll be doing some showing you guys some clips and showing you some things about it and walk you through some of the decision I make. I hope you guys support me, but at the same time, Individual Perspective Podcast is here. I want you guys to kind of support this platform. I hope you subscribe. I hope you like, and I hope you follow. And if you can, put $1, $2, no matter what, please put it in the Venmo and the actual PayPal account, and I'll be very highly grateful for it. And no matter what, we're moving forward. And like I said, even in my life, this is so important for me to say, because I want you guys to understand, even in my life, what's about to happen at 12 midnight tonight, people gonna think I'm crazy. They're gonna think I'm crazy, you know, and they gonna wonder, like, what's the problem? What is my problem? Okay. I want to say one thing to you guys, okay? This society is trying to stop the inner you and everything that it's doing. How they communicate to us, how they show commercials to us, how they advertise to us, how they manipulate us into supporting whatever cause they feel like they want to support. A lot of this society is trying to stop the inner you. It's that thing that you telling yourself. You get what I'm saying? That you're aware of it. You know this is the conversation that's been had in this conversation without everybody being honest and open to have the conversation. But it's a passive aggressive communication going on, and this is what it's telling you. But at the same time, you want to soundbite it, is they stopping the inner you from rising. Okay? What I mean by that is this. It's the actually I spelt this wrong in here, so let me fix this. But it's the psychosis of is normalizing to be subjects. It's normalizing us to be subjects. That's what it's doing. Okay? So it's normalizing us to be subjects. It's almost like social media influencers and podcasters and high economically elite people and our politicians and our movie stars and our musicians and the elites of our society are trying to take us back to Henry VIII, Elizabeth, kingdom, European, like idealism and stuff like that, where they're trying to make us subjects of the monarch. You get what I'm saying? Where you guys are just pathetic and you're not the value, we're the value. So make sure that you keep us stable. Make sure you make us be able to buy cars and houses and multiply our money in crypto and real estate and everything. But we're going to take your real estate from you. We're going to make it that you're not an owner, that you're not a entrepreneur, that you're not a capitalist person. We're going to take all the capitalist ability from you, and you're going to just be a consumer, and you're going to just make us tight, and we're going to be happy. So you got all these people, the way that their business model is, they may not know why they like that, but their business model is to stop the average human being's inner greatness, inner valuable part of them from pushing up, from manifesting, from growing, from combusting out, and for them to be actually action orientated on their inner thoughts and their inner ability, and they're executing on that. They're trying to stop your brain and your emotions and your self-esteem from doing that. So they're stopping the inner you from rising. And it's a psychosis of normalizing everybody to be a subject. You get what I'm saying? And I want you, and I'm going to say this, I'm almost done, okay? Second is, all this, once you understand that all of this market and capitalist psychosis and manipulation of your heroes and your podcasters and your social influencers and your musicians and your movie stars and the elites and the politicians, when you understand that that's what's going on, and that your family not believing in you, your surroundings not believing in you, your community not believing in you, you got to understand that it's just the way it is once you have self-realization about yourself. So they call it the red pill, and that's just knowing what the truth is of everything. It ain't got nothing to do with relationships. It's the truth of everything. So when you understand that, you're gonna have to get used that you're gonna have conflict. You get what I'm saying? And you got to find value in conflict. I'm finding this out in my own life, meaning that discipline your mindset and routine to create enemies. You're not seeking out to disappoint people or fight people and stuff. What I mean by that is to discipline your mindset and routine creates enemies. Okay, so disciplining your mind and your routine, it creates enemies. So discipline your mind. So disciplining your mindset and routine creates enemies, meaning that you changing the way you move, the way you think, let me take that back. The way you think is always the way you think, and it's just now you've been okay with it. You have to find value that people gonna hate you because of that. That you're not moving, that you're not talking, that you're not doing, that you're not pandering, that you're not trying to be civilized with how everybody interact with you. It's not good enough no more, and you're gonna act like it's not good enough no more. Why? Because acting like it's good enough, we stand in the same place and we having the same conflict. So I'd rather create a value that we just distant. There's no reason to interact with each other on that level no more, because it's not beneficial for you. It ain't beneficial for me. And just by doing that, you're going to develop people that hate you, that's going to dislike you. They're going to hate on you. They're going to try to find ways to destroy you. So you're going to have to find value in it. You have to fall in love with the haters and the people that's trying to destroy you and bring conflict and negativity to what you're doing and the way that you got to move to change your paradigm, to change the way that your life is and what actual execution or the outcome that you want. Ain't about money. And whatever outcome you building that table for, you got to understand that people going to hate and they're going to be angry and they're going to want to bring negativity to you and they're going to want to bring conflict to you. So instead of you not wanting conflict and you not wanting drama, you got to start finding value in it's the drama. This is the drama I can't stop because I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change what I want or what outcome I want and what I think is the fair and loyal and honorable situation for how I need to move. You need to find value in the conflict that you're going to have. And you need to understand when you discipline yourself, when you discipline how you think, when you discipline how you move, it's going to create enemies that you just not, you're like, man, I'm just trying to better myself, or I'm trying to focus on what I'm focusing on and accomplish what I'm focusing on, but people gonna hate you. They're gonna, I don't know why it's like that, but everybody want to be subjects, and the elites and the people that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars off of your super chats and off your Patreon and off your membership fees and everything. They okay with you just being a subject. Okay. But this conversation, even me having this conversation with you guys, it's going to bring me conflict. It's going to bring me drama. So I'm telling you guys, find value in the conflict. Discipline your mindset and routines is going to bring enemies. So disciplining your mindset and your routine creates enemies. Okay. And that's just the way it is, man. Told you, this mindset inventory episodes I'm giving you guys, this is for me. I want to watch myself. I'm tired of watching. I unsubscribed for so many people today because I'd rather listen to myself than this psychological warfare manipulation that's coming from people that come from our background. We should be, it's billionaire companies and apparatuses and places that felt at reporting, felt at journalism, felt at being fair in communication, and they tried to manipulate us. They tried to psychologically have warfare on our mind. And we gonna give you guys want to give another decade? You want to give another year? You want to give another month? You want to give another day to the system? Nope. So I'll be listening to this myself if I got to, but I hope you guys like, follow, subscribe, and if you can, and the links below, contribute if you can. Okay. Last one. It's money and bloviating. And that's what I just got to talking about. What I mean by that, bloviating, I'm going to read it to you, okay? Because people don't know, it's one of my favorite words, bloviating. Okay? Psychosis, bloviating, and pontificating is those three words I love. I love it. Love it. Psychosis is, you got to understand what that is because people don't sometimes get that. And you got to understand they said this is a mental condition, okay? So it says severe mental condition in which thoughts and emotions are so affected that contact is lost with an external reality. Okay, let me read that better. I did a bad reading. I know. A severe mental condition in which thoughts and emotions are so affected that contact is lost with external reality compared with neurosis. Okay? That's what they say psychosis is, okay? But what that means is that, and that's what I feel too, a lot of the manipulation of the bloviating by podcasters and social influencers and the celebrities and musicians and the higher elite of us and philosophical people kind of giving a motivational crap and stuff like that. The psychosis of manipulation, it detaches us from what is real, what it is. You get what I'm saying? And what it is that you can give yourself the success you want. What is the success you want? You know what I mean? All it is just do things regimentally. They always say if you do something for 3 weeks, you're in a routine. Okay? So get yourself in a routine. You know what I mean? Mindset is, this is the way I think, this is the way I am. I have validity to the way I think, and it took me a lot of work to understand that I was right, that this the way that I think is the way I need to be, and I'm not gonna change it for nobody because I'm not in error of my own thought process. I'm not immature or like the way that I think is immature, or it's got no experience or stuff like that. No, this is the way I think. I've vetted it. I understand the pros and cons of me thinking this way, and this is how I feel I'm gonna move, and this is the way I'm gonna think, and this is how I'm gonna think of and advocate my thought process. And then you don't let nobody break that. It's impossible for people to reinvent themselves and make sure that they advocate what they feel and who they are. Because everything about society, and let me put this over here, I forgot to bring that over. It's money and bloviating, okay? Everything about society is about manipulating you to not think what you already think, know what you already know, be who you already are, okay? Now, you can monetize it with leveling up, but you don't have to reinvent yourself. You already know what you're good at. You already know what your habits are and what's a good thing that you knew about your abilities and everything from when you was a young kid, teenager to your adult year. Now you just got to find a way to find value in it. So it's money and bloviating, where people just tell you spurts of information and they leave it general that you don't know how to actually apply it to your life and utilize it. And I always say, you listen, comprehend, and apply. You get what I'm saying? Listen, comprehend, and apply. And the market is to stop you from doing that. That's the market. Stop you from being the inner you and doing it. The market is in you not really knowing, like, okay, what does that mean? How does that apply to my life? And then you go into another layer in order to, like, change your life. And we got too much damage. It's too many black men been destroyed out here, and they not even understanding the success and accomplishments that they already have the ability to be. So they stay stagnant because they don't understand the other level of the psychosis of this bloviating communication that's called podcasts and social influencers and all that stuff. Look, I don't want you not to listen to me. I'm not here to give you advice. I'm here to just, while you're accomplishing your goals and while you're physically doing something, and that you can actually have something playing in the background, a podcast playing in the background, that you're listening to me and you're being entertained by what I'm saying, because I'm putting it in a cohesive presentation, okay? So look, thank you guys. I want you to understand, mindset inventories, these episodes that I'm doing leading up to New Year's Day of 2025, January 1st, 2020. I'm going to be doing them all the way up to that. This is some heavy stuff, and I'm gonna be giving some nuggets out there that is valuable. You might not think it's valuable, but when I listen to my own podcast and I'm listening to it myself, because I don't want to listen to all these other people, because they just completely deceptive, and they sanctimonious, and they dubious. Okay, so dubious, sanctimonious personalities, when I'm deciding to wean myself off of them, I'll listen to myself. But I hope that you guys get some value and understanding that you are the only you need to listen to. You already know what you need to do. You already know what your flaws are. You already know what the pros and cons of the things that you've done and the actions that you took. So now make the decision that you don't want to make because it might inconvenience you. It might be a consequence to it that might be costly. If it's a good thing for you to give yourself extreme great value to yourself and great meaning to yourself and great accomplishment to yourself and great valuation, psychological understanding of yourself, do it. Make the decision, because it's more in value and goodness and positivity of doing than not doing. Okay? And if you do the research and if you listen to all the stuff you already listened to, one thing they all have in common is majority of it is it's better to make the decision than not to make the decision. Okay? I understand I'm kind of messed up on that, but you get what my point of it is. So, hey, we're going into 2025. I hope you guys enjoying the holiday. Okay? And my name is Daris D. McKinney. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I hope you guys go into I'm going to go look at my emails today. Go into my emails. All the links is at the bottom. I hope that you guys contribute to the Venmo and PayPal. I'm trying to bring people on the panel, but I need a little bit extra funds to do that, and it's okay. I'm gonna work it out the best way I can. But if you guys can, please contribute. But at the least, please hit the like, subscribe, and follow, and keep up. And like I said, I'm everywhere, and I'm not just coming on here to do this. I want to be extremely consistent, have a routine to communicate with you guys, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Okay? But at the same time, I'm not coming out of nowhere. I have episodes of me doing podcasts on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, and I got a lot of episodes on Rumble, and you guys can, see how I talk about data and information and all that stuff like that. And one way I want to enter into 2025 is I want to make sure that people understand that they are their answers. They are all the answers that they need. But at the same time, we do got to take away the microphone, or at least the elitist advocation of certain people to have the microphone. I think citizen journalism is the way that we get really good news, and that we actually hold the elites to accountable. So citizen journalists does that for news organization and journalists, that we out there with our iPhones and we're recording it, and we know what happened because we were there, and when it was there, and when it was what happened was recorded and it was put onto our platforms and stuff. That does for news organizations and journalism and magazines and reporting and all that stuff. The same thing that we got to do for these motivational speakers, these social influencers and stuff, talking all the crazy stuff they talk about. Every one of us need to take ownership that we don't need them to give a better value to ourselves. Take ownership of that and magnify it and move on it. My name is Daris D. McKinney. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. I will see you guys on the next episode, and thank you for taking this mindset time with me. I know, it's a lot. It's a lot to ingest. Keep watching.